going through all the detail, I've been trying to pick up where I can, because obviously it only came out a few days ago. People were a week ago or whatever it was. And so I wasn't getting much. And then there's been a lot of marketing, which you guys have been doing an outstanding job with, just kind of seeing the product. And then slowly the feedback's been trickling in, and the people that have sent me stuff that said, hey, I've tried it or whatever, they sent me a picture of it wherever they are, like they got their hands on it. They were proud, right? To be able to show it off. I'm like, well, like, I really like it. Like even people, and these are people that are like, yeah, they're not 1911 or 2011 people at all. It's all been very positive. I think it's a really great start, man.
It is. And like I said last year too, it's just the beginning. We're just getting started. In my mind, in a perfect world, if I had worked here 20 years ago, I would have built this gun, or at least attempted to build this gun in like 2007, 2008 after the failed Delta pistol trials, because all that data was there, the failure points. At that point, everyone knew how well Striker polymer guns were performing.
Yep.
It's like right there was everything you needed to know to start the drawing board for this, but the timing was wrong. It was a very different company back then. I don't know I know a couple people who worked here back then, but they were gunsmiths. In my mind, I wish this had been the 2011 that came out in 1993.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's not.
It's not. However, one of the questions that comes up for me in all of this is, did you learn anything? I don't know. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you, or the cameras would have to be off, kind of thing. But is there anything you learned from this process that has given you insight to where technology will be in the future that's just not being done right now, but you can kind of see it and foresee like what's coming down the path based on the experiences that you had with this particular project? I don't know if that's a well thought question. I guess if I had to simplify it, did anything come up there like, okay, we're doing this now, but this could be better, or this will be an industry standard in the future kind of thing, and we can get ahead of this?
I think, so we have some other pistol projects that are going in the background too, that are kind of R&D projects for more of a 3 to 5 year timeline, not rushed. We're experimenting with a lot of different types of alloys, different types of coatings, different types of manufacturing processes. 3D printing is evolving as fast as digital world.
Right.
I think that's where you'll see innovation happening in firearms in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm a very pessimistic view on innovation. I think everything that's been done in a pistol from a feature and benefit has been done in the last 100 years repeatedly by everyone.
You just said that. You just explained all that, right?
And until we have a laser blaster, I don't think that's ever going to change. But what will change would be materials, coatings, manufacturing processes, and types of manufacturing. I think that's where we'll see incremental improvements. I think there will be small things you learn around the way that make it run a little bit better. There might be some ammo change in the future.
Sure,
you never know when 9 mil might go away, and it might be some other thing that we've never heard of before. Who knows?
Right.
But I truly believe it's trying new things, and the place that it's done the most is in high level automotive racing. Look at the trickle down to consumer cars that is learned in Formula One.
Right.
10 years prior to before it's ever in a consumer car. High-level motorcycle racing, the aerospace industry, the space industry. They're playing with all kinds of materials and coatings to do just wild things. And all the learning from that will trickle down into other manufacturing.
So speaking of manufacturing, I don't know the answer to this question. Is all this manufacturing being done in-house? Or are you having to go other places to get stuff done? We
have some stuff that we do third-party outsource.
Okay.
We source all of our raw materials in the U.S. and we source all of our outsourced parts manufacturer in the U.S. So there's some small stuff. We don't do injection molding in-house, so our grips are obviously done outsourced. We will not buy parts from anyone who uses overseas materials. So every one of these guns is still 100% U.S.-made gun from raw material to finished product. There is no MEM parts in any of them. Everything is still a machine part. We have not changed any of that, despite a lot of comments I read over the weekend. We never will as long as I'm here. I'll put it that way.
Got it. So, I mean, you just spent a bunch of time talking about the very brand new product. What else is going on at Staccato, man? While you've been busy in the lab, doing all this stuff. What else is happening over there?
So the biggest change for us was honestly our executive shuffle, which I think everyone knows about. So our former CEO got promoted to co-chair of the board and then moved out here to Prairie Fire to start getting this business rebuilt. And with a vacuum from the top, it pulls everyone up. So Justin Honia and I, who was our former chief operating officer, got promoted to co-CEOs. And then everyone moved up underneath. So we have a new chief marketing officer, Taylor, who's been with us for a couple of years, but she's been working on the consumer sales side. Mm-hmm. We brought in a new VP of sales who was formerly at Trigicon, Gary Sweet. The law enforcement side has gotten so big, I had to separate domestic law enforcement sales from federal and military programs because there's not enough time for one team to do all of it.
That's great.
So I've got a friend of mine, JB, who runs all the Fed Mill stuff. And then my LE team is the same LE team. We've hired a couple more people on the sales side for that. But that's kind of that vacuum just pulled everyone up.
I think that's interesting because a lot of times what ends up happening is people are seeking to fill positions from the outside rather than promoting from the inside.
Yeah.
And, from a cultural perspective and then all the things that happen, down the line into manufacturing, design, assembly, all of that stuff can get very messed up very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And so just that Staccato's providing opportunities with the growth, it's providing opportunities from within as you're moving up. So what you have is an experienced group who's been there, kind of done the thing. And that might sound a little remedial to people, but that's not how a lot of these firearms companies work, man.
No,
I was really surprised to learn all that, in the last couple of years as I started to just get into the business end of it a little bit more and just, wait, that person's worked for 5 other companies. And, is there nobody at that company that can do that job? And I think maybe some of the answer to that is, well, nobody's been there that long because there's all this constant shuffling around between businesses.